Wait, where is that music coming from?
Well, you know how today's manga is about brides, so I figured since you two are an item...
We have been dating for less than a year.
You're not gonna play along with this at all, are you?
No.
So let's get some cartoons and vodka and do them all night long. Are you ready for some fun? Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Oh.
Bride Story is really goddamn good. It's not exactly easy to write a never-ending gush fest of a review, but screw it, I've been sitting on this one for way too long. I hope you're watching in HD, because here we go. Yes! Oh, baby, yes! Oh, God, work it, queen. More, please give it all to me. No, I'm not full yet, just keep it coming. Oh, Lord, I don't know if my eyes can handle all this.
You're much sweeter than honey.
Sorry, it's just really goddamn beautiful. After stunting all over us with her architecture and Emma, Kaoru Mori moved on to absurdly detailed clothing just to show how much she is not fucking around. The story takes place in the late 1800s along the Silk Road in a village where we first meet Amir and Karluk, who have just been married. Amir is 20, and Karluk is 12. That could be weird, but it's not. Mostly. It's important to remember that neither of them picked this marriage, it was mostly a family transaction kind of thing. They don't technically count as protagonists because this is more of a travelogue story that will eventually focus on a bunch of different characters and stories that Amir and Karluk aren't present for or connected with. But we definitely focus on them for the start. Amir is from a village far in the mountains where they still mostly survive by hunting from horseback. So she is much more of an action wife than Karluk was expecting, hunting foxes and rabbits to add to the dinner table. Karluk is at first just a nice lad working to do right by his new wife. But after Amir's family attacks the village to steal her back for a more profitable marriage alliance, he starts to feel a bit uncomfortable with his lack of manliness since he had trouble defending her. A side note, I was surprised how big the village is. At first it just seems like a couple of neighbors living in one place, but no, this is a proper sized trading village. They even have their own cannons. I don't really have a lot of deep criticism or unexpected depths to unravel with this one. Bride Story is Kaoru Mori doing what she does best, flexing about her love of history with absurdly detailed drawings and pretty ladies. And it's certainly fun seeing all the research that she does into cultures play out in just absurd detail sequences like bread making, wood carving, sewing clothes for the dowry. There's a very memorable later section that goes into great detail on falconry, which is just delicious. There's a character named Mr. Smith from England who's just here to record history, and in a lot of ways this manga feels like a historical document of a way of life. Not to say the manga is based on Mr. Smith's notebooks. He's a fine fellow, but he is no omniscient narrator. Or spy. Or going to Washington. We meet some other brides over the course of the story. There are the spoiled and headstrong twin sisters who get married off to some hunky fisherman brothers. A lot of focus on the actual ceremony for that story. A lady falls for Mr. Smith and asks to marry him, which he is annoyingly spineless about, but we'll see how that plays out. Then there's this wife of an absurdly rich guy who makes a friend at the local bathhouse and ends up asking her husband to take her friend as a second wife so she's less lonely. That story just has a lot of nudity. Just tits everywhere. As far as I know, Mori hasn't done a hentai, but she'd probably be great at it. And as a side note, the hentai doujin based on this is hilariously true to the characters. And the last bride of the series is friend of Amir and total tsundere Pariya. Pariya is really good at baking and is quite outspoken but also really nervous around people. She hilariously does not know what to do with her feels when it turns out she likes the guy her parents are setting her up with. Her grumpy face really reminds me of Vera from the webcomic Alfie. which I must stress before you go check out is very pornographic. It's just kind of the theme today. I don't really have much else to say. Bride Story is really goddamn good. The art is god tier, the story is just dripping in lady energy, and it's about a part of world history I was genuinely unfamiliar with. It and the mangaka's earlier work, Emma, about a Victorian maid, are probably the most accessible things you could recommend to someone not familiar with manga. Bride Story is fantastic and you should go read it. Just buy the books and snuggle in for a luscious, slow-paced experience. Cannot recommend it enough.
If we were to get married, where would we hold the ceremony?
Inside a volcano fortress.
Ah, that's a good idea. I was thinking a swamp fortress, but that's good too.